Hello and welcome to another class of English. Today we will be doing another review of language. Again, I'm going to show you how to deal with language exercises. The reason we are doing this is to get you prepared for the national exam. So let's have a look at the exercises and see how we can deal with them. So, exercise A. Fill in the gaps with appropriate words from the list. Okay, so you have here a number of words. You have justice, obligation, rural, health, and civil. Okay, so let's read the first sentence and see how we can do this. Dropping out of school is common among children coming from and gap areas. Okay, so we need to, to choose a word, okay, which collocates with areas. Okay, so here we're dealing with collocations, and remember that collocations are, a collocation is two words which are always together. Okay, so in your opinion, what do you think? Which one collocates with areas here? Is it justice, obligation, rural, health, or civil? Well, again, look at this here, areas. It's a noun. So what we need here is an adjective, of course. Okay, so can you think about it? It's rural areas. Dropping out of school is common among children coming from rural areas. Number 2, providing gap care for sick people is a basic human right. We are going to do the same thing here. You have to guess, you have to know which one of these collocates with care. Is it justice care, obligation care, health care, or civil care? Now, I want you to think about it before I give you the answer. Can you think about it again for a second? Okay, it's providing health care for sick people. Again, so here we have two collocations. We have rural areas and health care. B, give the correct form of the words in brackets. Okay, so here you have to provide the correct, or give the correct form of the following words. So you have to use suffixes and prefixes. So let's have a look at number 1. Forcing children to work is a serious violate, okay, the word we have here is violate, of their basic rights. So let's have a look here. We have serious, and here we have violate. Okay, so here we have an adjective. So what we need here, what do you think we need here? What we need here is a noun. Okay, so this adjective describes this the noun that you have to find. So what do you think? I want you to think about it again. Okay, it means to violate means to break the law. Okay, so the correct answer is this. It's a violation. Forcing children to work is a serious violation of their basic rights. Okay, if you do this, then you will be breaking the law. Okay. Number 2, many people think that only, and we have here wealth, gap families can provide quality education for their kids. Again, let's have a look at this here. Families. Families is what? It's a noun, okay? So what we need here, we need an adjective that describes this noun, okay? So it should mean like this. Many people think that only rich families can provide quality education for their kids. So what do you think? Okay, again, I always want you to think about it for a second, okay? Well, the correct answer is this. Wealthy. Wealthy families. Wealthy families, rich families. Okay? Now, let's move on to the next exercise. Exercise C. Put the verbs in brackets in the correct form. Number 1. 2 weeks ago, the government decided, okay, we have start, gap, a campaign in many schools. This campaign aims at, and we have raise, gap, students' awareness about the dangers of taking drugs. Okay, so this exercise again is about the gerund and the infinitive. As you know, some verbs are followed by the gerund and others are followed by the infinitive too. Now, let's have a look at this one, decided. Decided is a verb, okay. So what do you think? Should it be followed by the gerund or the infinitive? Are we going to say decided to start or decided starting? Again, I want you to think about it before I give you the answer. What do you think about it? I mean, what do you think? Decide. Decided here is always followed by the infinitive. Decided to start a campaign in many schools. Now, let's have a look at the second one we have here, the second verb. This campaign aims at, we have raise, students' awareness about the dangers of taking drugs. So we have aims, at, and I want you to focus on at. At is what? Is it a verb? Is it a preposition? Well, at is a preposition. And after a preposition, what do we use? Do we use the gerund or the infinitive? Are we going to say at raising or at to raise? Again, I want you to think about it for a second. It's at raising, okay? So whenever you have a preposition, the verb that comes after should be in the gerund. Next, exercise D. Rewrite the sentences beginning with the words given. Number 1, Malika dropped out of school because her father lost his job. And we have here if Malika's father. So the sentence begins with if. So we know that we are dealing with conditional sentences. And again, this year you are responsible for 2 types of conditionals. You have conditional type 2 and conditional type 3. Now the question again, how can I know that I should be using conditional type 2 or conditional type 3? Well, again, you just have to look at the verbs here. You have dropped and lost. If these two verbs are in the simple present, then you should be using conditional type 2. If they are in the simple past, then you should be using conditional type 3. So what do you think now? Dropped and lost. Are they in the simple present or in the simple past? Well, we have dropped. It's easy. It's in the simple past. Okay. So here we are talking about conditional type 3. Remember again that we use conditional type 3 to express regret in the past. And the form of conditional type 3 is this. We should be using if plus subject plus the past perfect, okay, comma, and then another subject plus would or could plus have plus the past participle of the verb. Now I want you to think about it before I give you the the answer. So what do you think? Well, if Malika's father had not lost his job, she would not have dropped out of school. As you can see here, we have, this is the if clause. So we have if Malika's father is the subject, had not lost is the verb, which is in the past perfect, okay? And this is the main clause, okay? We have the subject, she, plus would, plus not if it's negative, then have plus the past participle of the verb. Now, number 2, the government offered financial assistance to small businesses. And the sentence begins with financial assistance. Okay, let's have a look at this sentence here. We have the government, okay, which is the subject, offered, which is a verb, and financial assistance is the object. And you see here, the sentence begins with the object. Again, whenever you see this, whenever we start the sentence with the object, you know that you are dealing with the passive voice. And you know that in the passive voice, okay, just as a reminder, the focus is on the action, and it is not important or known who or what is doing the action. Okay, so let me remind you of the rule of the passive voice. So here we have the subject, okay, then we need verb to be in the tense of the main verb, then the past participle of the main verb. Okay, so again, I want you to think about it, okay, before I give you the answer. Well, it's this, okay, financial assistance was offered to small businesses by the government. As you can see here, this is the subject. This is was, okay, which is in the tense of the main verb. Okay, so the main verb here is in the simple past, so was should be in the simple past too. And then we have here offered, okay, which is the past participle of of the main of the verb. Okay, so was offered to small businesses by the government. Okay, so before you do this, of course, you need to know the tense of the sentence. Okay, so here it's offered, then it's in the simple past. Verb to be here should be in the simple past. Next, number 3. You should change the PIN code from time to time, said Siham. Siham advised me, etc. Okay, so we have here this sentence is in quotation marks. So what you have to do here, you know that you have to report this sentence. Okay. Now let's have a look at the reporting verb. We have advised, advised me. Okay, so this is advice. Okay, this is a piece of advice. Okay, so whenever we report advice, for example, or commands, the reported clause should begin with what? With to, and you finish the sentence. So Siham advised me to do what? She advised me to. Can you think about it? Okay, before I give you the answer. Siham advised me to change the PIN code from time to time. Next, okay, E, fill in the gaps with appropriate words from the list. And you have here we have 5 options, okay? These are relative pronouns and relative adverbs. So the first one we have here, we have who, where, which, whose, and when. As a reminder again, who is used to refer to people, where to refer to a place, which to refer to an object or a thing, whose is used to indicate possession, and when is used to refer to time. Let's read the first sentence and see which one we should be using here. Number 1, Tariq is not satisfied with the new place. Gap, he has to work. So we have here a place, as you can see, the new place, okay? And we said that one of these is used to refer or to modify a place. Now, what do you think? Which one we should be using here? It's, again, can you think about it? It's where. Tariq is not satisfied with the new place where he has to work. Number 2, Rashida, and we have gap, sense of responsibility is exceptional, always gets to work on time. The question is here, which sense of responsibility are we talking about here? The answer is, it's Rashida's, okay? It's her sense of responsibility. And again, we said that one of these is used to indicate possession. So what do you think? Okay, can you think about it? It should be easy. It's this. Rashida, whose sense of responsibility is exceptional, always gets to work on time. Next, we have match each expression with its appropriate function. Number 1, we have, as you can see, on the left, we have expressions, and on the right, we have functions. So let's read the first sentence and focus, of course, on the expression. I am sorry to say this, but this is not the first time you come late. Okay, you have done it many times before. Okay, so what I am doing here is that I'm showing my anger. I'm not happy because you always come late. Okay, so what do you think? What am I doing here? Am I expressing certainty, agreeing, expressing opinion, or complaining? Well, as I said, I am showing my unhappiness. I'm not happy. Okay, I am complaining. Very good. Next, you must be tired. You've been working all night. Okay, so what do you think? What am I doing here? Okay, so so actually you have been working on all night, okay? You did not sleep, okay? So I think based on this, okay, because you have been, you have been up all night, so, okay, you must be tired. I am what? I am expressing what? I am expressing certainty. I am sure, okay? I am sure that you are tired, okay? Next. G, write appropriate responses to the following situations. Number 1, you don't know the meaning of the word matrimony. Okay, you should ask your teacher for clarification. Okay, so we said before that in other classes that in this exercise you can actually say anything. Okay, it's open. You just you should respect the context. You should be related to the context. So here you should ask your teacher for clarification. Okay. So why? Because you don't know the word matrimony. Okay, so what do you think? So here is my suggestion. Okay, you can say, for example, what do you mean by matrimony? So this is just one suggestion, of course. You can use your own, okay, your own ideas. Okay. Number 2, your friend, do you think computers will replace teachers? And here you have to give your opinion. Okay, so again, so this is my suggestion. You can say this, you can say, I don't think so. Computers can't replace the role of the teacher. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.